Hey everyone, it's Mark. How you doing? I'm going to make this really quick today because it is like 7 o'clock at night. I'm actually on my way home from working, and I just wanted to say hey. Look at this, where I am. So I'm over on the edge of Onei'i'i Park. I'll give you a shot of the other side of the park too. And I was just at the wharf, and the sunset was really nice. So I'll stick that up as well. You can see that. Maybe at the end credits or something. But look, some people tracks. Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about some motivation. I was watching this video, a video of people like celebrity transformation, like body transformations, like Chris Pratt and like Chris Hemsworth, and like people who are like Chris Evans. There's a lot of Chris's transforming their body. And I was watching that, and the thing I was really interested in wasn't really so much what they did. They all did basically the same thing. It's like a lot of compound exercises, deadlift, squat, bench press, that kind of stuff. And they just ate a lot of them were skinnier, and so they had to bulk up. So they ate just a ton of lean protein, vegetables, and brown rice. Kind of boring. And none of them really had to like skinny down, except for Chris Pratt. He was a little bit larger first, and then he lost a lot of weight. He shredded a lot of weight. But what was really interesting to me wasn't so much what they did or the fact that they changed their physique. Is that some of the things they're talking about, their attitudes towards doing that. Especially Will Smith. He was talking about preparing for Ali, the Muhammad Ali biopic, and also for I Am Legend. He kind of bulked up for that, and also even iRobot a little bit, and talking about his work ethic. And he has a lot of videos out there about his work ethic, which is just amazing. And it sort of motivated me to sort of get my butt in gear and be a little more. The thing is, and Jake Gyllenhaal was also one of the people for Southpaw, or Prince of Persia too. And the thing that he talks about is just this: when he says he's going to do something, or when he says he's going to commit to a process or commit to finishing something, that he just does it completely. He doesn't stop. He doesn't like consider not doing it. He puts all consideration. Will Smith said this too. They put all consideration of not doing something completely out of their head, so that it's not even an option. They just completely do whatever it takes to do it. It's either they finish it or they die trying, which is an extreme viewpoint, but at the same time they make amazing strides and changes in their lives, which is pretty fantastic. So I was thinking about myself and about how what sort of level of commitment I have to things and changing myself. And so I'm going to try and redouble my efforts a little bit. I'm focused on changing things, and as you know from those 5 areas, what I'm working on. But my arms are getting tired. This is why I usually use a selfie stick or a tripod. But for me, I'm going to try and work on really going to that extra mile and really creating habits out of things. And I think who was it? Someone who did boxing. Maybe it was the guy who's in Creed, Michael B. Jordan. He talked about how he did it for so long. He was doing boxing drills and training for like 8 months for that Rocky movie, that he just said it just became a habit, and I just enjoyed it. So I just kept at it because I knew what it took to get there, and I didn't want to lose it. So it just became a part of my routine. And I think that's the process, is that, I mean, motivation is good temporarily, but like any emotion, and I wrote about this in my blog once, any emotion, it's waning. Emotions come and go. They ebb and flow. And if you rely on an emotion to get you going, then it'll only work some of the time. It won't work all the time. And even triggers that you create to get pumped up, like music or videos or whatever, those are temporary too. They don't last forever. So I think the key is that using motivation initially to get yourself into a habit or into a practice, and then being consistent with that practice. Keep using motivation as much as you can, but once it wanes, you have to have been consistent with your practice. And so that's what I'm working on. I'm motivated right now to keep up this practice and habit. And I find that tracking is the other component. So motivation is the first thing that gets me going on something. The second thing is by tracking my progress. That also adds additional motivation. And it's sort of like the Seinfeld Xing the calendar, like the don't break the link, which I'll try and find a video and link to that. But basically the idea is that once you start a chain of doing things each day and you put on the calendar a big red X each day, eventually you get to the point where you just don't want to break that chain. You want to keep it going as long as possible. There's a lot of apps actually that encourage this sort of thing. And so tracking to me, like tracking my weight or tracking workouts, that's sort of a don't break the chain activity for me. And so combining initial motivation and finding things that motivate me, and then combining that with the tracking process to build the habit and then maintain the habit, I would say for me it's always around the 4 to 8 week mark. I can get things going pretty well for about 4 weeks. I can do just about anything for a month pretty well, consistently. It's right around after that month, when I'm going between month 1 and 3, that the habit kind of wanes for me. So for me, I think I'm working on figuring out methodology. So if you can think of anything that works really well for that, let me know. But that's what I'm thinking about today, is motivation and habit building and habit formation and maintaining things for the long haul. I think a lot of it also is, and this professor at Stanford talks about this, BJ Fogg, he talks about the accumulation of habits and how tiny habits are much easier to accumulate, and you can build on an established tiny habit much easier than you can try and establish a large habit. So create a very small habit that's consistent, do it like, a minusculely, ridiculously simple habit, and just maintain that for 30 to 90 days. And once you've maintained that for 30 to 90 days, it becomes a habit, and then you just build on that habit, make it a little more complex, a little more detailed, and a little more robust each day. Build on that through tracking and through whatever other means you have. I feel like it's going to rain. Anyway, that's all I want to talk about today. I hope you all are having a great day. Probably tomorrow for most of you. What day was this? It's July 19th. It is Tuesday, and tomorrow's Wednesday. That's how they go in sequence, right? Tuesday, then Wednesday. Anyway, having a nice day today, and I hope you all are doing awesome. So keep on, keep it on.